guys? Today we're going to be using FC26 to predict the entire 2026-27 football season. And why we're doing this? Well, EA have a track record of guessing, who's going to win the World Cup for like the last 5 or 6 years in a row now. They even did it this year. So we're going to see, what EA's ball knowledge is like for the club seasons as well. Before we do that, we first need to do the transfers. Like Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, Elliot Anderson to Man City, and of course, Yan Diamonde to Real Madrid. And while we're at it, why not include a couple of the rumours as well, like Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid, Julian Alvarez to Barcelona, and Bradley Barcola to Liverpool, which I really hope doesn't happen. Come on, guys, do not spend 135 mil on this guy. Okay, so we're going to do this by going into a career mode and going into a live save point save, and then we're going to choose a team here. I don't know, let's go for Accrington Stanley because why not, right? Okay, so we're now in the career mode, but there's one thing I want to point out. If we go to the Premier League standings for a second, we will notice if we go all the way down to the bottom, the league isn't exactly accurate. Like, yeah, we do have Ipswich who got promoted, but then we've also got Southampton and Leicester who have not got promoted. But I mean, it's not like Hull City or Coventry are really going to be pushing for a title anyway, so I don't think it really matters all too much. I'm just going to sim until January 1st, and then we'll see what the all the leagues are going to be looking like then. I've decided to actually just sim until January 31st, so we can actually see the final table for the UCL League phase. But first off, let's look at the Premier League, where we've got Man City just edging out Arsenal, with Liverpool and Chelsea closely behind. But then we've also got Bournemouth, Everton, Forest and Crystal Palace doing quite well as well. And if we scroll down a little bit, we've got Man United in 14th and Spurs in 16th. France, we have as expected with PSG winning the league. And in Germany, again, as expected, Bayern Munich are winning, only by a couple points though, but the rest of the league looks pretty standard, apart from maybe Mönchengladbach. In the Serie A, we have AC Milan actually quite comfortably ahead of Juventus, with then Inter Milan and Roma behind them, with Napoli and Fiorentina. But other than that, the rest of the league looks pretty standard, except Atalanta, who are quite low, which is a bit odd. And then in Spain, we have Real Madrid on top of Atletico Madrid, and then Barcelona in third. But if we look at the rest of the league, it also looks pretty standard. And then in the Conference League, we've actually got Newcastle on top, which obviously can't happen in real life because they haven't even qualified for the Conference League. Otherwise, the rest of it looks pretty normal. And then in the Europa League, we've actually got Stuttgart on top, which is quite surprising, with Liverpool second, which again, can't really happen. Juventus also did quite well, so did Roma. But again, Roma also couldn't even be in this, along with Chelsea, because they both didn't qualify for Europa League. And then finally in the UCL, we have Athletic on top with Bayern Munich, PSG, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Man United, Dortmund, and Barca to round out the top 8. And then City are in 15th, which is quite low, but nothing we haven't really seen before. And then Como are unfortunately quite low, which I don't really want to see, in real life.
6 months later.
So starting in the Prem again, we have City on top, which is quite surprising, with Chelsea and Arsenal third, then Liverpool rounding out the top 4. And then we've got Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, rounding out the European places. And then right behind them, we've got Newcastle and Manchester United. And if you scroll down a little bit, we've got Spurs in 13th, which is quite a big improvement on their last 2 seasons. And Leeds also got relegated, which I did say in my predictions video. And then for the top goal scorers, we of course have Erling Haaland at the top of the list, but he is only on 22 goals, which is quite surprising. But then behind him, we've got Foden, Callum Wendo from Forest, who I've got no idea who that is. And then we've got Ollie Watkins and Barry to round out the top 5. So Bruno did not break the assist record. Kevin Shaw actually got the most assists with 11, and Bruno is actually quite far down this list as well, which is quite funny. And in France, of course, PSG won the league on with Kvaratskhelia, top goal scorer. Ousmane Dembele is all the way down in 5th with 17 goals though. And in Germany, no surprises here either, as Bayern Munich win the league with Dortmund, Leipzig and Gladbach right behind. The rest of the league looks pretty standard. But if we go to the top goal scorers list, Kane does not win the Golden Boot. Antonio Nusa scores 1 more goal than him, which I don't know, I don't really see this happening in real life. And on to the Serie A, my team Juventus actually managed to clinch the title with AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Napoli also finishing in the top 4, with then Como and Atalanta, you know, climbing up a little bit from where they were halfway through the season. And then, if we look at the top goal scorers list, somehow Chico Conceição is first, which is a bit surprising. However, it is pretty tight for the top 5. And then in Spain, Real Madrid comfortably win the league with over 15 points on top of Atletico Madrid. And it looks like Barcelona struggled a little bit, only managing 70 points across the season. Other than that, though, the rest of the league looks pretty normal. Then in the top goal scorers, Vini absolutely demolishes Mbappe by 6 goals. And then in the Conference League, Atalanta won. And if we look at everything else looks pretty normal to me. And then in the Europa League, it was a Roma-Liverpool final, where Roma came out on top. But obviously that can't happen in real life because they're both in the Champions League. However, everything else also does look pretty normal. I'm happy Juventus ended up going pretty far though. And now onto the big one, the Champions League, where Man City managed to top Real Madrid in one of the biggest finals we've probably ever seen in Champions League final history. Then if we go to the semi-finals, Benfica actually had a very good run, only just losing out in the semis. And then Ajax also seemed to have had a pretty good run as well. However, Barcelona seemed to have continued their struggles into the Champions League as well, as they lost to Leipzig fairly early on. Galatasaray managed to defeat another Italian team in AC Milan. And then, if you look at the goal scorers list, Haaland is on top with Vini, and then Musa, who's looking like he had a very good season right behind him. And then we have Mbappe and Zolis, who I forgot to transfer to Arsenal, but he seems like he had a pretty good season nonetheless. And now there's only one more thing we have to do, and that is to see who's going to win the Ballon d'Or for this season. So I'm just going to simulate to October of 2027, and we'll see who wins it. Okay, so the winner is Erling Haaland from Man City. Makes sense as he won the Champions League final. So yeah, that is what EA Sports thinks that the 2026-27 football season is gonna look like. Let me know in the comments below if you like these kind of videos, because my last FIFA video is the best performing video on my channel. So I wanted to know if you guys want to see, you know, more videos like that on my channel. But yeah, anyway, other than that, all I've got to say is see you later. I'm just so excited.